Okay, so this is the first video, so be prepared for this one. I'm a little bit inexperienced. What we have here is a hybrid of spine. It's one of the dorsal fins that be on the shark. This is obtained from the chem beds. Now, the reason why I'm filming this video is because, as you can see here, I've wrapped it in this plastic and rubber band, and you might be thinking, why have I done that? Basically, the tip appeared to have a repair job. I'm hoping it's a repair job and not a composite. However, looking at it through a loop, it didn't seem to be a composite, i.e. two different specimens stuck together, which can normally be the case. If I can focus in there, the actual quality of this spine fin is really nice quality. What I've done here, I've soaked a piece of cloth in acetone, and then I have wrapped it around it with a plastic bag. These are your general sort of don't quite know how you describe them. Basically, you can write on them, you can store your fossils in them, whatever you find in the field, and they work really well against being dissolved against the acetone, which is why I use them. So the cloth is soaked in acetone, and then the bag is wrapped around. The side that you write on has to not be in contact with the acetone, or otherwise it will melt the paint off it. That is one thing that will melt. Other than that, the plastic won't get dissolved. Rubber obviously is well away from the cloth, which is soaked in acetone. Oh shit. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to leave that for roughly around maybe around 15-20 minutes, and we're going to have a little look and see what we've got under the Moroccan super glue, because I know it's a big issue for some people. So we'll cut back as soon as that is done, okay? Okay, so we're back around 15 to 20 minutes later. You have to understand I'm a little bit nervous about doing this. This is my first video. Basically what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to put the camera down, or my mobile phone down as I should rightly say, to remove this elastic band, and we're going to have a look and see what we've come out with. I have here a scalpel right at the ready. The tip's a little bit blunt, but it should be good for the purpose of this repair job. I suppose you could call it a repair job, and the purpose of this video, of course. So if I'm going to place you right down, I'll be right back. It's also important to note you don't want to be damaging the fossil. Unfortunately, I was just letting it rattle around there on a hard surface, which probably isn't the best idea. We're going to unwrap this, and one of the ways I've sort of felt that the glue has been removed is because I know where the break is. This cloth is still absolutely soaked in acetone. I can feel it on my skin, which is something you really don't want to do in an ideal situation. And we're going to remove that. Okay. I'm going to determine whether it needs a little bit more. As you can see here, this is just a common standard break along the hybrid spine. However, I don't feel that this was, or if this was a break, I feel like this was just barely covered over. And this has come off with the super glue, or the acetone. As you can still see here, there is a lot of this sand matrix, which is now becoming a lot more pliable. You could almost bend this tip. However, I don't want to do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set this hybrid spine, the main body, or the main part of it, over to one side. I'm going to rewrap this, and then we're going to go again, and we're going to have another look in 15 minutes, okay? And I'll be right back then. Alright, we're back sometime later. Here is one of the tools I'm using. It is from Amazon. I have no idea of the make. Oh, hang on. Yotsuyan, I believe. Yotsuyan. Anyway, cheap, about £10, English pounds, so that would be about $15 for you people over the border. It's got a handy little front light that can be adjusted. It also has 5 lenses going from 1x magnification up to 3.5, which I normally am using 3.5. If I'm not using 3.5 for small pieces, I'm normally using a stereo microscope, or, well, I should be using, in my case, I'm using a digital microscope because it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Okay, so we're going to put this on. I'm going to place you down here. We have our tip of our hybrid spine right here. That has been soaked in acetone formula for roughly around an extra 15 minutes. So we're going to unwrap this. Actually, I might be able to hold this at the same time as doing this. Hang on. Wonder how I'm going to do this. I apologise for any excessive camera jack. Okay, there we go. I got the knot undone. I'm going to unwrap that. And we're going to have a little look. I'm going to see what we've got exactly. I'm going to turn the light on now. So I apologise for any shadows. I normally like to try and avoid the cloth that this acetone has been soaked in. And as you can see here, as I'm pulling it away, you can see the glue sticking to it. And, oh yeah, okay. There we go. There we go. That's coming away now. Okay. I hope you can see, or at least try and see what I'm saying. Nah, I can't put the lens through there. As you can see here, now I'm going to have to re-soak this for the purpose, obviously I'm doing this for the video. We now have 3 segments. That one's trying to stick to my fingers a little bit. I'm going to keep this tissue, well, I say tissue, more of a cloth, over to one side to be reused again. And we have 2 separate parts of the tip now. And they look like they fit together properly. What we're going to have to do here is I'm going to get the scalpel. And I'm going to gently try and clean some of this excess of glue off. And get the camera in focus without damaging the fossil. And as you can see here, slowly but surely, because it's soaked for long enough, I am now able to pull this away. And it's pretty much as I expected. It is a crack in the layer, and when it's been repaired, yeah, it's going to need to soak. I can feel it now hardening up in my hands. And basically the reason why it's hardening up in my hands right now is because the acetone dissolves so quickly in the air. This is what I would commonly refer to as the smudge technique used by a lot of Moroccans. They find a piece, maybe it's broken, maybe it's in one piece, and they will, if it's a repair, they normally get a mixture of super glue and a very, very similar composition sand or matrix, and that will get smudged across. And this is exactly as I thought. However, there are quite a lot of cases where I've found complete teeth. For example, a carcharodontus tooth I found 2.7 inches, and the miner, or the Berber, as you might want to call them, had completely coated it in super glue. And at first I had a look at it and I said, "There's no repairs to this." And he said, no, there's no repairs. And, you know, I mean, this was through broken English, so it might not seem like that much, but it took a little while to work that out. And from what I understood from him, the reason why they cape it in super glue is because they're afraid of their good finds of the day being damaged. And you've got to remember, that carcharodontus tooth might sell for maybe 1,500-2,000 dirhams, which would be between 150 and 250 US dollars. They're terrified of losing that because that is an entire week's wage. And if they cape it in super glue, they're guaranteed not to lose that. Anyway, I hope this has been relatively informative. Again, I wish I could have showed you a little bit more on how I will extract this. And I will extract this really carefully, but that needs to soak for a little bit longer. there are chips between the two breakpoints, and that is probably how it's been found in the layer, more than likely. The snap from the main body, I'm gonna guess that was obviously because when I wrapped it in the acetone cloth, that came away first, so it had been a very weak layer and weak solution of super glue. I'm guessing that was probably a break caused by the mining techniques, and obviously the mining techniques are incredibly primitive in this area. And that is about all for this video, and I hope you found it to be somewhat informative. If you have any questions, drop a comment below in the section, or you can find me on the Fossil Forum. My username is Haravex, and I look forward to hearing your questions. Alright, bye-bye now. Two other small notes I just thought I'd quickly mention. I'm using an acetone solution, and this is a chemical grade. You can get this off eBay. 3 1 litre bottles for around £10, or again for you guys over in the States that would be about $15, something around that region. If you're in Europe, probably about 12 euros even, I should say. That's the email address I get it from. The other one I wanted to point out is why I wrap it in acetone, or wrap the acetone in a plastic bag and then secure it with elastic. The reason for that is you cannot have any air gaps in this. The reason for that, acetone evaporates very quickly with the air, and if you haven't got it wrapped in plastic and then securely wrapped in entirely, the other one I would recommend is aluminium foil or aluminum, as this is not going to be affected by the acetone, whereas a lot of plastics normally will. Again, these bags you can find on Amazon. I think they're around £3.50 for 100. Really good quality as well. Like I say, they don't melt as some of the normal plastics do. Yeah, and that would be roughly about it. Again, obviously, if you are going to use acetone, make sure you're in a well ventilated area and are using some sort of respiratory protection, as this stuff is not particularly good for the lungs. Another point as well is do not smoke or be using this in an area where you have gas appliances, say for example a cooker or a hob or something around that region, as this is really quite flammable shit, and you don't want to be setting your house on fire for cleaning a few Moroccan fossils. I will post after pictures when this piece is completed. This probably will take me around an hour to get completely soaked off, remove all the glue. The other good thing about using cloth that I must note is that the glue, sand, smudge mixture will stick to the cloth. Turn it inside out, flip it over, turn it inside out again, reuse it. Once all the glue is on that, it's pretty much used up and you have to throw it away. But you want to try and get as much use out of it as possible, which is why I do say soak it in this. Quickly place your cloth on top of the acetone bottle, flip it upside down, take it off. You might feel a little bit of the acetone go onto your skin. There isn't too much you can do about that. Gloves to protect that are rather expensive, in the region of around £40. A little bit on your skin won't harm. You don't want to have excessive amounts though, you really don't. And if you feel in any way at all nauseated or lightheaded, stop using this product immediately. It is a chemical at the end of the day. Although it is a chemical that is naturally produced by the body, it's not one that's meant to be handled in this quantity, and this is 99.6% pure. So it is a lot more heavy duty than your standard nail varnish remover. That is all from me. And if you have any questions, like I say, feel free to leave a comment down below or message me on the forums, and I hope you found this video informative. Wait for the after